This podcast is going to be about Nola Pender's health belief model. You can see at the top of this slide is the model, and the overall purpose of this theory is to help all people stay healthy. In other words, to optimize health in the presence of chronic disease or to create environments in which it is healthy to live. There are three categories that relate to health promotion. One is individual characteristics, and these are those factors that are unique to the individual, including previous behavior and personal factors. The second one is specific behaviors. These are critical for the nurse because they are subject to modification and include perceived benefits of action, perceived barriers to action, perceived self-efficacy, activity-related affect or feelings regarding the behavior, interpersonal influences, and situational influences. The in-between specific behavior and the health-promoting behavior, or the outcome, is commitment to a plan of action and immediate competing demands and preferences. Finally, there is the health promotion behavior, and we're going to discuss each of these in detail. Now, for my example in these slides, I am attempting to have a young woman, Samantha, engage in safe sex and will be explaining each of the concepts of the theory related to her story. As far as prior related behaviors, they are the frequency of the same or similar behavior in the past, direct and indirect effects on the likelihood of engaging in health-promoting behaviors. One of the best predictors of behavior is the frequency of the same or similar behavior in the past. It is the patterns of behavior, or habits, that have a direct effect on healthy behavior. Habit strength grows each time the action is performed and becomes automatic with little attention to the specific details of execution. Prior related behaviors indirectly affect health-promoting behavior through perceptions of self-efficacy, benefits, barriers, and the activity-related affect. In the past, our patient has not engaged in safe sex. Therefore, the pattern has not been set. In fact, she believes that it is impossible and sees only the barriers and none of the benefits. Personal factors include biological, psychological, and sociocultural. These factors are predictive of a given behavior and shaped by the nature of the target behavior being considered. Personal biological factors include age, gender, body mass index, prepubertal menopausal states, aerobic activity, strength, agility, and balance. Personal biological factors include self-esteem, self-motivation, personal competence, perceived health status, and a definition of health. Personal sociocultural factors include race, ethnicity, acculturation, education, and socioeconomic status. In working with a patient, the personal factors to be considered should only be relevant to the targeted behavior. Keep in mind that some personal factors cannot be modified. For Samantha, the important personal factors are that she is 22, with low self-esteem, divorced, and homeless, and she earns her living through prostitution. Now, the perceived benefits of action are anticipated positive outcomes that will occur from health behavior. Perceived benefits directly motivate behavior and indirectly motivate behavior through determining the extent of commitment. Anticipated benefits are mental representations of the positive consequences of behavior. Individuals invest time and effort in activities that have a high likelihood of being positive. The strongest motivator is intrinsic in nature, meaning it is good in itself, or of itself for the person, such as exercise relieving stress. Extrinsic motivation includes money or prestige. In our case, Samantha does not see the benefits of being HIV-free, not being pregnant, or having higher self-esteem. Perceived barriers to action are anticipated, imagined, or real blocks and personal costs of undertaking a given behavior. Some of the blocks are unavailability, inconvenience, expense, difficulty, time-consuming nature of the action, or loss of satisfaction when the undesirable behavior is given up, for example, smoking. When readiness to act is low and the barriers are high, action is unlikely to occur, and vice versa. Perceived barriers directly affect health-promoting behaviors and indirectly affect them through a diminished commitment to action. For Samantha, the readiness to act is very low and the barriers high, their loss of income, loss of shelter, loneliness, and a lack of insurance. Perceived self-efficacy is the judgment of personal capacity to organize and execute a health-promoting behavior. It is not concerned with the skill one has, but judgments about what can do with the skills that one has. It comes from 4 sources: actual performance attainments, and this is the strongest; vicarious experiences, and the person in that must be similar to oneself; verbal persuasion must be truthful; and physiologic states must be peaceful and calm. Self-efficacy affects health-promoting behavior directly through influencing barriers to action and indirectly through commitment. Perceived self-efficacy influences barriers to action, so higher self-efficacy results in lower perception of barriers to the performance of the behavior. Currently, Samantha perceives that she cannot do the activity of safe sex. Now, the activity-related affect are subjective positive or negative feelings that occur before, during, and following behavior based on the stimulus property of the behavior itself. Activity-related affect influences perceived self-efficacy, which means the more positive the subjective feeling, the greater feelings of efficacy. In turn, increased feelings of efficacy can generate further positive affect. For Samantha, the activity-related affect is negative when it comes to safe sex. Interpersonal influences. These are thoughts about the behaviors, beliefs, or attitude of others, which may or may not be real. Norms are the expectations of significant others. Social support includes instrumental and emotional encouragement, and modeling is vicarious learning. Primary sources include family, peers, or healthcare providers, which affect the individual's predisposition to engage in healthy behavior. Presently, Samantha believes her peers in that her clients prefer sex without a condom and that she would lose money if she required such actions. Situational influences may have direct or indirect influences on health behavior. Individuals are drawn to and perform more competently in situations or environmental contexts in which they feel compatible rather than incompatible, safe and reassured rather than unsafe and threatened. Environments that are fascinating and interesting are also desirable contexts for the performance of health behaviors. For Samantha, she may find a place to stay for homeless women and may feel that it is threatening or not very interesting. The immediate competing demands and preferences are the in-between. Immediate competing demands are unanticipated demands over which individuals have little control, such as family or work responsibilities. Immediate competing preferences are immediate urges over which the person has little control. The commitment to a plan of action. This initiates the plan of action, and the underlying principles include 1. A commitment to carry out the action irrespective of competing preferences, and identifying definitive strategies for starting, carrying out, and reinforcing the behavior. However, be aware that commitment alone will not work unless there are strategies. All good intentions, the behavioral outcomes. One is the health-promoting behavior. This is the end point, but the ultimate is the outcome. For Samantha, it is safe sex using condoms. The end point for Samantha is being HIV-free, not pregnant, and having increased self-esteem, which can result in better living conditions, a new job, and being safe. Well, what can we do for Samantha? Well, we can work on the specific behaviors, including raising her consciousness and providing education, helping with a reevaluation of herself, helping her determine if she's the kind of person she wants to be, promoting self-efficacy, maybe through vicarious situation, to have other young homeless prostitutes who have stopped the behavior talk to her. Enhancing the benefits of change, such as having a real job with benefits and a steady source of income. Controlling the environment for her and help managing the behaviors. And I hope this has been of assistance to you in understanding the health belief model.